Will? Yeah, he knows everybody from the show, and they always keep him in the loop with what they got going on.
It's time to go beyond the headlines, cause I don't put in overtime just so I can headline. Okay, now it's Fox Sports, I'm live with Renee. Going hard every day, sports rapping every play. Different segments for your favorites, coming at you daily with positive vibes. Yeah, we some game changers. Basketball, football, soccer, with different interviews. You never know who may pop up. Listen, only on Beyond the Headlines. This is Beyond the Headlines. Only on Beyond the Headlines. This is Beyond the Headlines. Only on Beyond the Headlines. This is Beyond the Headlines with Renee Washington.
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to another exciting installment of Will's Updates right here on Beyond the Headlines with Renee Washington podcast. Don't forget, guys, you can listen to the show, Fox Sports 96.9 FM, 1340 AM. And for all my podcasters out there on all your podcasting platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring up my guest for this week, SNY anchor host. He's Mr. Do Everything for those guys over there. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chris Williamson. Chris, how are you, man?
I'm doing all right, man. Trying to hang in there. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good, bro. I'm doing pretty good. Now, last time you were on the show, August the 21st of last year, episode 7 of the show. What have you been doing since then?
Yeah, so that's coming up on almost a year that I was on the show. A couple months, but yeah, I've been just cranking out content, covering the Mets, the Jets, the Giants. I've been going out to, Knicks practices, Rangers games, Knicks games, Nets, obviously they're a lot more popular with Kyrie and KD coming. KD sitting out this year. And I've been just trying to perfect my craft, to become a better storyteller. I've been doing commentaries to, like what would happen with, Jay-Z and the deal that he struck for the NFL. And,
Yes.
I spoke up about that and how I felt, that was kind of a, selling out in that instance. So yeah, man, I've just been, working hard to keep elevating my brand and my storytelling skills.
Keep that grind going, man. We all got to do it.
Yes,
We're
sir.
going to get to where we're going to be in this world. We all got to be on that grind.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my friend, let's find out what's going on in the state of New York with all this football talk going on. We got the Giants hiring inexperienced head coaches. We got the Jets with the Jamal Adams situation. What's going on out there, bro?
Not a lot of good, not a lot of positive, not a lot of positive stories. I'll tell you that. It's interesting because with the Giants, they obviously went with a guy who came under the Belichick tree, and he's just he's a special teams coach. So it wasn't like he was offensive coordinator, or defensive coordinator, but they relied on that. So that played a big role. Even though I think a guy such as Eric Bieniemy, Super Bowl champion offensive coordinator, can't get a job, this offseason with all the openings. And then with the Jets situation, Jamal Adams, look, the Jets said, Jamal Adams said they were going to offer him a contract extension in January. They said they're going to put that on the table, right? And that didn't happen. And I know COVID has affected that, but you got to put your money where your mouth is. If you're going to say that as a Jets organization, you need to deliver on that promise. So I think it's fun. I think what we've learned, Will, is that Jamal Adams does not want to play for the Jets. It's really not so much about the money, even though he wants to be paid, the highest at his position. But the fact that he has demanded a trade or seeks permission to get traded, and he said, these are the teams that I would like to get traded to. Those are all playoff contenders. And then he's like, well, contract extension doesn't have to happen right away.
Exactly.
So I think it's a culture thing with the Jets, how people really do not believe in the organization, I think, and what they're promoting. I think that's the frame of mind that Jamal Adams is coming at it, because he felt betrayed when they had the offer from Dallas. Jerry Jones picked up the phone, and he didn't appreciate Joe Douglas making that call heard.
Yes.
So yeah, man,
And then the thing that kills me on that too is what the Jets want for him in compensation. Look, I'm not gonna sit here in front. He's a good safety, but he's not a transcendent safety. He's not somebody that can go in there and do everything you need a safety to do. He's good in certain areas, but he's not transcendent. And I don't know if I'm gonna give up 2 first rounders and pay him.
Yeah.
Bruh.
That's a lot, man. But look, he's been leading the defensive back since he joined in 2017. The most sacks. You know, he led the team in tackles, I think, last year for the Jets overall. You know, he was a monster, you know, getting fumbles. But yeah, so my thing is, I think he's better than a good safety. I think he's one of the best safeties in the league. Like, I see him more as a run stopper. He's somebody who can come downhill and, you know, deliver the blow, you know, and stuff the run and blow things up like that. As far as his coverage ability, I think it's good, but I wouldn't say it's nothing like
Ed Reed, for example,
or Ed Reed. Right. I don't think he's in that category yet. Sure, he could get there, but yeah, I don't believe, you know, his coverage skills are, you know, superior or, you know, excellent, you know, at this point. But look, don't you think they would want to get rid of him so he can stop, you know, mouthing off, or he can stop, you know, complaining?
I would, because it's bad for the locker room. That'd be one thing that I have to look at. But my issue is, like, it's just that compensation. I don't know what team would eat that.
Right.
I really don't know what team would eat that he wants to get, that wants to be a contender. I don't know what contender would eat that value. Woo, that's a lot.
It is for 2 first rounders. And then, I mean, yeah, this year, you know, he's not getting paid major money. I think it's like he's on the books for, I don't know, $3.5 million. And then it'll jump up, you know, I forget what the number is, but it'll jump up a decent amount for next year. But yeah, if he doesn't want that contract extension right away, sure, I think there'll be more teams that would be interested in doing that. Like but can you imagine the Cowboys, Jerry Jones deciding to you know, make that trade?
Yeah.
And then, you know, eventually you're gonna have to pay him, and that also impacts
Zeke.
Dak Prescott. No, not
Dak Prescott.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, Zeke already got his money, but Dak Prescott, and he Ben deserved his money. You know,
True that.
Like, I think he threw for the most yards outside of Jameis Winston last year, and he's a very integral part of their offense. So yeah, man, it's a really ugly situation for the Jets and Jamal Adams. I do think that at this point, it's all talk right now. So when training camp comes, if we have a season, then you have to wonder, okay, if he's going to really hold out and lose all that money because he really wants that contract, or he just doesn't want to play for the Jets anymore. But the thing about New York is a city never sleeps, and there's never any dull moments.
That's what I heard. I haven't been yet, but that's what I've heard.
Yeah, no, it's true. I can tell you, I've been there for almost 2 years.
I got about a minute left. I am a Mets fan. Can you tell me within that time frame, what is wrong with my Mets? What's going on with them?
Well, twofold. So one, the manager last year, Mickey Callaway, he came off as extremely prideful and arrogant when it came to his decision making. He could not be questioned. Right. And I think there was a sentiment that, like, sure, they would play for him, like Pete Alonso, Jeff McNeil, and all them, but his in-game decision making was extremely subpar in some of the moves that he made, especially towards the end of the season, you know, when they're fighting for a playoff spot. Then you have the inconsistency with the pitchers, right?
Oh, yes.
When is Noah Syndergaard going to be his full potential? When is he going to reach his full potential, right?
Yeah.
Who knows? Like, he has all the stuff. He's got the Thor moniker, the nickname, Thor nickname, and, you know, he's got a great personality on Twitter, but he's up and down. He admits it's a mental thing. Like, he doesn't have that Jacob deGrom mentality or that focus right. He doesn't have that focus yet. And then Marcus Stroman, he came over, and that was a different ball game. When you're pitching in the NL, like his ERA went up. In the small sample size that we saw him with the Mets at the latter end of the season, and it's like, bro, their hitting is so. Outside of Jeff McNeil and Pete Alonso, their hitting is very inconsistent. That's why you're only seeing 1 or 2 runs, right?
Right.
With Jacob deGrom, that's why he gets so many losses. His win-loss percentage would be so much better if the team could drive in just even 4 runs. So I think consistency is one big thing. The pitching outside of deGrom, you really didn't have anybody that you could rely on every day. And then Mickey Callaway. So hopefully Luis Rojas, people love him in the organization, and he's seen what he's gone up through the ranks with that team. So hopefully he's the guy who can get it done. And, they can make the playoffs this year if we have a season.
If we have a season, that's the biggest thing. These guys act like they just can't get it together. It's a doggone shame. It's a doggone shame, man. All right, Chris Williamson, Mr. Do Everything, SYN Sports. I want to thank you for joining me today. I do appreciate it.
Thank you very much, man. Always a pleasure.
And don't forget, guys, you can listen to Beyond the Headlines with Renee Washington every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, Fox Sports 96.9 FM, 1340 AM, and all of your podcast platforms. I'm William D. Morgan, and I am out.